Welcome to the Today's Leader podcast. Building tomorrow's best leaders, today.
Way to go, guys. Way to go. Keep it going. Good job, guys. All right, Paul, I see you. All right, finish. Let's go.
Great job, guys.
Hey there, it's Coach Curl here, and welcome to Monday Mentoring on the Today's Leader podcast, building tomorrow's best leaders today. Now, recently I had the pleasure to interview a former member of the Radio Bird, Chris Mazuak, and it's on the Unfiltered and Undiscovered podcast that I co-host with a friend down in Adelaide. Now, the Radio Birdmen were one of the biggest influences on the Australian rock sound, the Australian pub rock music. And the sound that they created has led the way for many of Australia's best and foremost favourite bands right in the Australian music scene. The Radio Birdmen were inducted into the ARIA Hall of Fame in 2007. That's how big an influence this Sydney underground band had. And it's fair to say that without Radio Birdmen, the many great Australian bands simply just wouldn't exist. Now, one of the key takeaways that I had with Chris was really simple. He was reflective, respectful, and proud of the past and his involvement in what had transpired with not just the Radio Birdmen, but with other bands that he was part of. But he wasn't burdened by it. Reflective, respectful, and proud, but not burdened by the past. He's still creating music. He lives in Spain with his family. He plays with many different bands and mentors a lot of up-and-coming, especially Aussie bands. Now, what does this have to do with leadership and Monday mentoring? I can probably hear you asking. Many leaders can be burdened by the past. Now, I'm not just talking about those that are haunted by past failings, haunted by things that went wrong. Because when that happens, leaders can sometimes become a bit more risk-averse, right? And very self-conscious around their roles in potential failings or losses in the business world. But others are also burdened by their success. You may have had something absolutely amazing happen in your career or business, and that's awesome. It helps build credibility. It helps give others an indicator of your track record. And it can often be a motivator when things get tough and uncertainty reigns. The knowledge that you've done it before in the past will sometimes help you get through some of those really tough times. And let's face it, the last couple of years have been really tough times. But for some, they put the cue in the rack and use that success for their reasoning for maintaining leadership roles and positions. It becomes something they lean on. It becomes something they rely on. They rest on their laurels. And it's like the many pubs and clubs right around the world that are filled with could have been champions. You know, that person that says, I could have been a contender, but they simply weren't because they didn't have the desire, the discipline, or the drive to do what was needed to become the success and fulfill their potential. But for some leaders, that's what they do. They have amazing success, or they even have good success, and then they use that or rest on that as the foundation and the very reason why they should continue to have leadership roles. The past is our experience, our track record, our credibility. Respect it, learn from it, be proud of it, but lead today, lead for today. That's what today's leaders do. They lead today. And they do that by not being burdened by the past or overly reliant on it. Hey, I'm Coach Curl. Thanks for tuning in. I shall see you all again next week. Bye for now.